Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rhea, this is Ray Reads. Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing the mid-year freakout tag. I'm a huge fan of this tag. I've been watching BookTube for like the last 10 years. I really look forward to this time of the year, and I usually do my tag in my journal, but this time I get to do it with all of you, and I'm very grateful for this year. I just want to start off by thanking every single one of my viewers and supporters. Starting a BookTube channel was something that I've always wanted to do. It just meant so much more to me than I thought it would, and that's because of you guys, so thank you so much for watching. We're gonna start off with my stats for this year, and I did these myself, so there might be a little bit of error, but I'm pretty sure it's like pretty solid. So I read 49 books so far. 13 of them have been rereads, and that's around 17,000 pages. In those 49 books, I've read 7 nonfiction and 42 fiction. From those 49 books, 30 of them were from the library, 10 of them I've already owned, 3 of them I bought, and 6 of them were ARCs. In those 49 books, 17 of them were young adult, 12 of them were adult, and 6 of them were middle grade. 24% is fantasy, 21% is sci-fi, 19% is literary, 14% is contemporary, 10% is romance, 7% is historical, and 5% is mystery. 13 5 stars, 6 4.5 stars, 14 4 stars, 8 3.5 stars, 2 3 stars, 3 2.5 stars, 1 2 stars, and 2 1.5 stars. Because 13 of these were rereads, and that's a pretty substantial number, I have stats on the new books I've read, so without all these rereads. 5 nonfiction books and 31 fiction books, and 30 of them were from the library and 6 of them were ARCs. 17 of them were adult and 13 of them were young adult, which I hate that. I don't want to succumb to the adult side of reading. I want to be in the young adult as long as I can, so I will be trying to keep that number up for the rest of the year. 23% is literary, 16% is contemporary, 16% is sci-fi, 16% is fantasy, 13% is romance, 10% is historical, and 7% is mystery. My rereads are more so fantasy and sci-fi, whereas my new books are more literary. For ratings for my new books to me, also including nonfiction, we have 3 5 stars, 4 4.5 stars, 13 4 stars, 8 3.5 stars, 2 3 stars, 3 2.5 stars, 1 2 stars, and 2 1.5 stars. The first question is, what's the best book you read this year? And I have 2 options. And the first is a nonfiction. I always like to shout out nonfiction, and this is The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. I was on a mission this year to get into John Green books because I'm going to see him in the fall. I haven't enjoyed his fiction work, but I'd still wanted to give his nonfiction a try, and John Green is just such a gift to humanity. The Anthropocene Reviewed is an essay collection on seemingly random everyday things, and he talk about the history of them and then review them on a 5-star scale. This book is just fun for me because I like knowing the history of everything, but I'm also just such a cynic. I do not believe in humanity at all, but if John Green believes in humanity, then I do. This book changed my life because it went through the history of a lot of things we think is normal, and he discusses how it's like a human created thing. The best fiction book I've read this year, I've also read recently, and that is The Dream Hotel. And I think with Cindy recommended this book, adult sci-fi book, and this woman gets detained in the airport because they think she's going to commit a crime in the future. This futuristic world involves AI where it predicts who's going to commit a crime, and so to counteract that, they send these suspected people to these holding centers. They're not allowed to call them prisons, even though they are prisons, and it's really a commentary on the prison system and how barbaric it is, and I am just not informed about the prison system at all. And when I was reading this, I was just enraged because none of it made any sense. The sci-fi aspect of this the involvement of AI and like predicting people. I am very scared about like the future of AI. This book is like very realistic for what it could do, how it could predict things, because it's not going to predict things correctly. It's just going to amplify the societal issues. What really blew my mind about this book is that the main character voluntarily like implants something in her mind, and they're able to use her dreams for like numerous things. And she didn't think it would affect her. She just signed away this right she didn't really think about. And I just have to think about that in my everyday life. The next question is the best sequel you've read. And I am going to be honest, all of the sequels I've read have been disappointing. But I will shout out Survivor Wants to Die at the End by Adam Silvera. And this is the third book in the Deathcast series. And it's not like a direct sequel, but it does take place chronologically after the first book. The Day But Die at the End takes place in this world where it's a futuristic world, and in the morning you're gonna die, they call you, so you can just prepare. And both our main characters get the call, and they don't want to spend it alone, so they go on its app to find somebody else who's dying for the day, and they hang out for the day, and they fall in love, and people fight at the end. The Survivor Wants to Die at the End is about Paz and Alano, and one of them is the son of the guy who created this Call You When You Die system. He's dealing with the pressure of that, and then the other guy is suicidal, and he's trying to escape Deathcast. And it's really interesting to read about like the logistics of that. Even this book is very dark and very triggering, and I would definitely skim some moments. These two characters collide, and it's really about their codependency on each other. I really appreciate how this book broke the structure of the first two books, because he was trying to explore something new with these characters and these themes. I was disappointed in the ending, but there is another book that's coming out, I think, next year that will hopefully answer my questions. The next question is about new releases that you haven't gone to, and number one is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I really love reading her books and just getting invested in all the characters. I've heard nothing but good things, and I'm really pretty sure it's about this couple, and one of them is like going to space, and they're literally just separated. That sounds emotional and devastating, and hopefully I learned something along the way. Next book. As I was writing this in my journal, I didn't get to this yet, but I literally just finished this last night, and that is A Forgery of Fate by Elizabeth Lim. I read the Six Quatrains duology last year and Spin the Dawn. I love Six Crayons, the first book. I really want to get more in this world, and I love her writing and like her journey, and it's just such a refreshing YA fantasy. And A Forgery of Fate takes place in the same world as this entire Six Crimson Cranes Spin the Dawn entire thing. Beauty and the Beast retelling. So our main teenage girl named True has to like marry this half dragon, half man, and it's like a marriage of convenience. So she gets to like go to the dragon realm. They fall in love along the way. My most anticipated new releases for the second half of the year, number one is A Wild Reference by Rebecca Ross. Divine Rivals is my favorite romantasy ever, and I am not that excited to be going back into this world, because I feel like the world building was like the worst part of that duology. But regardless, I know Rebecca Ross is gonna eat any kind of like romance, and I'm here for it. Next book I'm excited for is The Scammer by Tiffany Jackson, and I don't know what this book is about, but I love The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson, so I am going to pick this up. And the next book is Heartsick by Christina Forrest, and I love Christina Forrest's YA rom-coms. I think she's my favorite rom-com author. I'm obviously gonna pick this up, don't know what it's about. I'm sure I'm gonna like it. And the other book that's also like an auto read for me is Marissa Meyer. She's coming out with a new book. I don't even know what it is, but nothing's stopping Marissa Meyer. She's constantly putting out stuff. I'm constantly reading it, and I hope I like it, but I don't know what it's about. Next question is the biggest disappointment. Sunrise and the Reaping. And if you guys want to know like every single thought, I have both my reading vlog and a 30-minute like in-depth review rant discussion about it. So definitely go check those out. If you don't know what this is a prequel of The Hunger Games, and The Hunger Games takes place in the 75th Games, and this takes place 25 years before, and it follows the main character's mentor, Image. and I was so excited for this. I don't really know what we're doing here. I enjoyed my experience reading the book. Like, genuinely the best experience I've ever had reading a book. I went to the midnight release. I reread The Hunger Games and Ballad for this, and so I was ready. I was disappointed. I really loved the first third, and then as soon as we got into the second third, especially the last third, I was like, okay, I mean, that's a choice. Suzanne Collins has a reputation where she's like, I'm not gonna put a book out unless it says something. This book does not say anything now. What really surprised me, and my favorite part about this book, is the fact that Haymitch was like the first Mockingjay. He was like the first person everybody was willing to rally around for the rebellion. This book works so well in the books. He's so much like Katniss, and Katniss was literally just luckier. She, like, oh my god, but it literally contextualizes a lot of stuff in the Hunger Games that just happens to Katniss, and we think it's just luck, but it's not necessarily luck. Like, this rebellion has been brewing for at least 25 years, and I love that. I love that, like, the rebellion during the Hunger Games wasn't the first rebellion. Like, there was multiple steps before that, and whatever happened in this rebellion paved the way for Katniss's rebellion. And I don't know how this wasn't the theme of the book. Do you know what the selling point and theme of the book was? It was propaganda. What? I don't want to dwell on this too much because, like, this was just like promotional material, but a lot of the quotes at the beginning of the book were about propaganda. And I don't see how propaganda was like the main message of this book, because every single message about propaganda is one that we've gotten before. The thing I really wanted to see was Haymitch mentoring District 12. Literally just got the games, and the games are my least favorite part of the Hunger Games, and I know that's unpopular opinion. I just don't understand why we spend so much time in the games, and like, we know what happens. Like, it's not interesting because we know that and I'm not saying the games aren't entertaining. Like, I don't like the games anyway. So I was really hoping that the second third was just the games. Then like the last third would be like something else, because I really wanted to see the aftermath of Haymitch and his games. I wanted so much of the book to be about that. That's why Catching Fire is my favorite, because it's not about like what happens in the games, it's how they treat you after the games, and it's how Haymitch is submitting to the Capitol at this point, and how he is training people for these games. Most of Haymitch's arc that we know of happens in the original trilogy when I assume that he's in the rebellion then. I don't even know when he's in the rebellion. Has he been in the rebellion this entire time? Who inspired him to go to the rebellion? I don't know. In my interpretation, he thinks about Lenore Dove and thinks about like how he doesn't want to submit the Capitol because of her. Cool. We don't see him help the rebellion at any point after the games. Like, we see him talk to Plutarch, so I assume that's an alliance that happens, but like, he's also been part of sending kids off to their death this entire time. And I'm not saying that like he's like the main problem, obviously he doesn't have a choice, but he literally did not have a single victor until Katniss. We were going to go down the propaganda road. I do not understand why this could not be in Plutarch's perspective, because then it would also mirror the Ballad and how it's like a District 12 victor in somebody else's perspective. And I think we're gonna get another book after this. I don't want another book, but I think we are. I mean, like, I don't even know who it's gonna be, but like, if we get a Plutarch book after this, I'm gonna be conflicted, because I understand how this could be a Plutarch book, because Plutarch is our guy for propaganda, and he is so interesting because he is complicit in the Hunger Games, but he's also rebelling. He has to do propaganda on both sides. Compared to the first prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I really feel like Suzanne Collins just did this for like fan service, and this is like fan fiction. Because why is this a story you're writing? I was really happy with Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes when I reread it, because I finally understood what she was trying to do. And in this one, she just seems like she is pandering to her fans, and that's really disappointing for me as a fan of her. I remember when the Ballad came out and it was so divisive, and now Sunrise is out and I think it's worse, and I think it means less than the other two, but it's performing better, and that annoys me so much. The next question is the biggest surprise, and I'm gonna give this to Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson, and honestly because I didn't like her previous standalones, and I'm gonna make a video discussing all of Holly Jackson's books, when Not Quite Dead Yet comes out. Not Quite Dead Yet is about Jet, who's like a mid-20s adult girl. After she gets home from somewhere, somebody attempts to murder her, so she wakes up in the hospital. So they tell her that she only has a week to live, and so she's like, I'm gonna solve my own murder. I did not expect how this story was gonna go and what the actual mystery was, and I love how Holly Jackson books are just going all around town and like finding clues. I would recommend checking this book out when it comes out. The next question is my favorite author, and I'm gonna give this one to Rachel Lippincott, and she wrote The Lucky List, which I loved this year. And last year I read her combined book, Make What a Wish Come True, with her wife, and they're so cute. I loved Allison Derrick last year. She's one of my favorite new author, and this year it's her wife, and like that is so cute. They write young adult romance books. It's like the same dynamic every time because it's inspired by their love story, and that is the cutest thing ever. Give me 10 more of them. I do not care. The setting, the writing, the emotions, the love, it's so good, and I feel like these are so underrated. And I actually did read 5 Feet Apart in like middle school, like years ago. I guess I have read her before, but this is like her solo novel, so I'm counting this. I will be reading more of Rachel Lippincott. Next question is the newest fictional crush, and I'm gonna have to give this to Justin from Just for the Summer. Oh my god, is this guy written by a woman? And actually, this is my first adult romance that I've read that's dual perspective. He's everything. He like he like adopts his siblings, right? So you're already a family man, already taking care of other people other than himself, okay? He has a dog. This man has a job. He literally has like a 9-to-5 job, but like he's not really focused on it. He's focused on his family and about finding his love, and he's such a good friend. For their dates, he sends her like surveys on like what she wants to do for the day, and at the end of the day he sends her like a survey for how the date went, and that is so cute. Like at some point he literally like swims across this thing to get to her. Like, oh my god, no, my standards can't be higher than they already are. The next question is the favorite character, and I'm gonna have to give this to Alice from Great Big Beautiful Life. So sweet and happy and endearing and positive, and that is just my preferred person in a rom-com. And this girl is just so bubbly, so fun, so open, and she doesn't judge anybody. The whole point of this book is that like her and her love interest are like competing for this thing, and I feel like that could be promoted as like enemies to lovers, or they hate each other, but like she doesn't hate him at all, and she like just wants to get to know him. He is like grumpy. He like ends up like just like being near her and just like being worn down by her because she's so genuinely nice. Next book is the happiest book you've read. The happiest book I've read is definitely Fake Skating by Lynn Painter, and they got the arc of this, and oh my god, this is so cute. This is a young adult romance. So Alec and Danny, and they were best friends when they were kids, and then like 5 years ago Danny moved away, and now Danny's moved back. Something happened between those 5 years where they were apart, so now they just like don't talk anymore. Danny is like a bookworm, and Alec is now this super popular guy at his school, and they end up having to do like a fake dating scenario, and it was just so cute. I love like childhood besties, two lovers. The fake dating was pretty cute. Their chemistry was so good. I love Alec, love interest. He's such like a solid guy. Definitely the best Lynn Painter love interest. That's right, I think he's dethroning Wes Bennett. He was so great. I had the best time reading this book, and I would definitely recommend when it comes out. Next question is the most beautiful book you've bought, and I only buy books that I've already loved and reread, so I'm just gonna apply this to like all the books that I've read this year, and I'm gonna have to give it to The River Has Roots. It's like a short story, like fairy tale, but it has illustrations. In this book, in the chapter titles, there's like illustrations of a tree and everything, and it added to the vibe. I loved it, and this book is so good. The next question is like every book you want to read before the end of the year, and besides all of these books, I am also really interested in reading Everything is Tuberculosis, because that's the other John Green nonfiction book, and The Fault in Our Stars, because I haven't liked John Green's fiction books, but I want to give him one more chance, so we're going to go with The Fault in Our Stars, and I don't think I'm going to like it. I'm going to have more context when I get to see him speak at like the thing I'm going to. And I have two nonfiction books that I really want to get to. One is Big Asian Energy, which I love reading about the role of like Asian people in America and like the pressure put on them. And I'm also interested in The Ambition Trap. Other books that I've just been on the waiting list at the library for like months are Beautyland, which I've heard nothing but good things about, and then The Lion Woman of Tehran. And I really liked The Stationery Shop by this author last year, so I really want to read this one. And then I Cheerfully Refuse, which is one of a plant-based bride's favorite books of last year, and like it's about like a sci-fi climate thing, so that's interesting. And then we have The Briar Club. I literally have no idea what this book is about, but I think it was on the Goodreads Choice Awards. I also really want to read more young adult, so I have Define the Night is like I think it's like a romantasy. I've seen it around. I don't know what it's about based off the cover, so I've never tried it, but I will try it. Three Dark Crowns. Somebody actually bought this book for me in middle school, but I returned it so I could buy a book that I've already read and loved. I know it's a fantasy, but like some kind of kingdom, but I'm interested. And These Blighted Stars. I have heard about this book, and it's like a sci-fi adult. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like this video, leave a comment below on your favorite book of this year, and subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram. Bye!